Hi, and welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Ali Navarro, nutrition chef with Greener Planet. And today, I'm going to be making something super simple for you. I'm going to be making some chips. Yes, I said that right, chips. But these aren't your regular chips, these are cucumber chips. So stay tuned and learn how to make these. Before we get started on our chips, we want to go ahead and preheat our oven to 255 degrees Fahrenheit. So now that you know our temperature, let's get started on our chips. I will be using one cucumber, but depending on how many chips you want to make, go ahead and grab more cucumbers if you would like. Our cucumber is going to be a good source of vitamin A, which is good for your eyesight and your skin. Vitamin C, which is good for your immune system, and it's going to help you from getting sick. Vitamin K, which is necessary for blood clotting, and a mineral you can find in this is potassium, which is necessary to regulate fluid balance in your body. So we're gonna go ahead and prep this. So today I'll be using a mandolin. So this is gonna thin out our cucumbers very nice and thinly. So you can use a knife if you do not have a mandolin. So I'm just gonna cut the edges off. And then to keep this and make it easier, I'm gonna go ahead and just cut it down the middle, just because I have to glide this over the top. So once again, if you do not have a mandolin, you can go ahead and just grab your knife and thinly slice this. So I did this a coin shape and it's very thin. So I'll go ahead and set that aside, and then I will demonstrate how I will use my mandolin. So as you noticed, I kind of stopped here just because I don't have my holder to kind of help me out, and I don't want to cut myself while I'm slicing these up. But usually I've done this in the past, so one cucumber gave me about 65 slices. It may give you more or less depending how the slices come out. So this is how mine came out, nice and thin. And the cool thing about cucumbers, if you didn't know, they come in a ton of variety of different forms. So we have these cucumbers, we have Armenian cucumbers that you can find in your garden, and we have Persian cucumbers and lemon cucumbers. And if you didn't know, lemon cucumbers, they look like lemons, so look out for those as well. So we're gonna go ahead and do two variations of these chips, and we'll move on to those steps. Third step, we're gonna go ahead and grab our cucumbers that we sliced already and set them on a napkin. I grabbed two right here and then two down here because I want to pat them dry, since our cucumbers are very hydrating and we're going to dry them up. So we want to try to get as much moisture as we can out before we set them in the oven. So I'm going to go ahead and just place these on my napkin here, and I will show you how I pat them dry. So the reason behind doing cucumber chips is just a great snack, because I know I like to grab potato chips every once in a while, but I thought, why not have cucumber chips on hand when you want to snack on something? These are really great and tasty. As you can see, I have lots of cucumbers on my napkins here, so I'm going to go grab my napkin and just pat down. So I just want to make sure I pat on every cucumber. Use this on. So this is a really fun activity to do this with your friends or family. Make a nice little treat. So once you think you got enough moisture out, we can go ahead and take our napkin off, set this aside, and we want to grab a pan and parchment paper. So the reason for parchment paper is I use it is because foil, it'll get your cucumbers to stick on it. So I'm going to go ahead and set that on here, and then we'll get onto our seasoning. Now that I set my cucumbers on my pan, I'm gonna go ahead and set this down, and now this is the fun part. I'm gonna go ahead and start seasoning them. So as I mentioned, we're gonna do two variations. So I'm gonna do a apple cider vinegar and salt variation, and then I'll be doing salt and chili powder variation. So this is the fun part. You can incorporate any seasonings, spices, or herbs in yours. So I'm gonna start with the apple cider vinegar and salt. And I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. So I don't want to use too much just because it does have a strong flavor, and when you add the salt as well. So I'm gonna hold off on the salt right now. I'm gonna grab my brush and I'm gonna go ahead and dip this in my apple cider vinegar and start smearing it on my cucumbers. All right, and then the salt, you can go ahead and just put in your hand and then sprinkle it over. You don't wanna put too much in there. All right, now that we have our apple cider vinegar and salt variation, I'm gonna go ahead and do our chili powder and salt mixture. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my chili powder, use half a teaspoon, and put it into our bowl, and cover the lid up. And then grab half a teaspoon of the salt. And then in here, we're just gonna mix it. So you have the mixture in here, and you can go ahead and just sprinkle it over your cucumbers. And the great thing is, you don't just have to use cucumbers for this. You can use any fruit or veggie. You can use zucchinis, you can make strawberry chips, mango chips, any kind of chips that you would like. I just chose cucumbers today. And you can add as much seasoning as you would like, because this is to your liking. So I like adding a little bit just because the flavor does get strong after you bake it. All right, and so that's it for our cucumbers. I'm gonna go ahead and set this in the oven. And the way that you should be baking this, you wanna start for an hour and then slowly just keep watching it, because sometimes whenever you slice them too thin, they'll bake a little bit quicker than the others. And yeah, just keep a lookout for those. So let's pop them in the oven. And here we have our cucumber chips. My cucumber chips are a different color, so we have a little bit that are more crispy, and that's just because some cooked a bit faster than the others. So mine ranged from about 1 hour to an hour and a half. So I slowly started taking out the cucumbers that were crisping up a bit faster. So it's all up to your liking how crispy you would like these. And if you have an air fryer or a dehydrator at home, go ahead and use those, because they might be a bit quicker than our oven. But since I just have my oven, I went ahead and popped them in there. And such a great way to do smart snacking, healthy snacking, especially during our summer times. Because I know it's so easy to just grab any snacks when you're having fun and not thinking about it, but great way to incorporate your fruits and veggies. So now that you watched me create this, I challenge you to do the same. But don't forget, be creative, tag us on social media, and I'll see you next time.